We'll just give everyone a moment or two. We got 9. We're supposed to be, I think, 14. Go until.
Maybe I shouldn't have started recording.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure Donna probably told you guys, but she doesn't do Fridays, or she can't make it on Fridays, so she can make it to the stand up, but we'll fill her in with whatever we talk about.
Okay, I did know that, but I forgot, so thank you. All right, we'll get going and people will filter in. So happy Friday, everyone. It's June 11th. Welcome to Stand Up. It is the first full week for our new cohort, so cheers to you all for getting through the week. Hope that you are feeling good. So as a reminder for Stand Up, we're going to go around. I'm going to call the teams out. If you can give us an update on how things are going, if you have any blockers that you need to call out, make sure that we know what your current step is and what your next step is going to be. And then also we're going to add something new to Stand Up and ask everyone to share maybe a rose of their week. That's like the high of the week, a thorn, something that's kind of sticking in their side, bugging them, something you learned or something you're proud of. You don't have to do all of them, but if there's like a standout, I think it'd be really great to start sharing around everyone's experience and how things are going. And another thing that I'd like to add to today specifically is I think we'd like to start seeing how people are doing. So just at next stand up and probably through to the following week, seeing how people's forms are going, if they'd feel ready, just to show us what they've got going. That doesn't mean it needs to be ready, polished, or anything in any way. But when you feel that you'll have something that's working that you could share with the group, we'll try to do one maybe during the stand-up time to share with the crew. So when your team is sharing, if you could let us know if you're thinking Tuesday or Friday next week, or you need another week of time, and then I'll kind of make a schedule.
Or if you have something today you want to show off.
Or if you got something today. We didn't prepare anyone for that though, so I won't put anyone on the spot yet, but if you're feeling brave, that would be fantastic. So I will start with teams that I see here. So I think I see Shauna and Kajal. Do you want to give us your update?
We got the form through the Weaver, and once that was finished, there was one error, and we fixed that. So now, like, our form is like, you can run through it.
Awesome. And do you have a rose or a thorn or something that you learned? Getting it through the Weaver is a fantastic rose. If we want to just, I'm getting a, yeah, okay, cool. That's great. And so do you feel like you know what your next steps is? You can just give me a yes or no. Okay, cool. And thinking maybe end of next week, you want to show the team what you've got, maybe next Friday, the week after.
Next Friday is fine.
Okay. There's no pressure. Just want to start to give people time and some deadlines to start to work towards too, so that you kind of can help with the pacing. We'll go next to, how about the juvenile change name petition, Connor and Ryan?
Yeah, so we're basically just went through the same steps. We finally got our thing through the Weaver, made our repository on GitHub, and then started messing with it in the playground, and got some much needed assistance yesterday from Aubrey and Quentin to help us iron out the first couple errors. But we've been able to run it all the way through and get a form at the end, but only with like very specific question answers and selections. So we kind of need to iron out the rest of the wrinkles, but we're making progress.
Yeah, and we've had an opportunity today to run through, like Ryan said, to the actual form. And while we were doing that, we were making note of issues that we were spotting in GitHub. So then hopefully we'll be able to, I know Ryan and I love meeting so much, but maybe we'll be able to split up a little bit and both to be able to work on it separately. So we're on a good path.
Yeah, really useful for Donna too, to be able to have the time differences. So did you all have, you all have confirmed that you have GitHub access to it then? So it's up in the repo and you can.
Yeah. So the rows, I think, would be working all the way through to a form and being able to spot issues and being able to work around the playground a little better. And the thorn would definitely be for us the Weaver, because we were stuck on Weaver for a little while, and that was it was fun, but we're happy that we're done with it now.
Yeah.
Cool. And great job working through the problem with the Weaver. You guys have a long form, so you persisted. And do you want to try to share next week, or do you want an extra week to give a little demo?
I expect we should be good to go for next Friday, but we can like update on Tuesday with how much progress we've made and whether or not we think that'll like still happen.
Great, thank you. We'll go to late docketing statement. Regis and Catherine, how you doing?
Pretty good. A lot of thorns, a lot of roses. We had the interview built and running. It has some redundant questions that we're trying to fix because I built an interview and then ran it through the Weaver. So I kind of did the opposite of what is usually done. So it's been kind of tricky to move the questions from the Weaver, from the baseline YAML into the order that we want it to, and then have that communicate with the docx form. But a lot of roses this week also, because you can't have thorns without roses. But things are looking very good for the form right now. Probably, I think we on Wednesday had like 4 big issues that we had to tackle. I think we're down to maybe like 2.5. But yeah, Catherine, if you have any additional insight.
I was pretty much the same as Regis, but I'm a lot newer than he is. So there was one time I actually fixed a problem without anyone's help. That was very exciting. So that's my rose. And then the thorn is every other time I've had to ask for help. So that's it.
Awesome.
Hopefully,
yeah,
go ahead. My mouth is full. You talk.
Okay, I was just going to add to what Regis said, because I had a bad, and I want to own up to it in front of the group. I did not know that the Weaver could handle docx. And so when I talked to them about it, I was like, you're starting from a blank page, and let Regis do a full day's of work, hard coding things, and then went back and actually read about the Weaver and was wrong. So that is my bad, and I take a full day of their work as my mistake. So I apologize to the group.
It was so fun though. Like I had a blast coding it. So
thanks for making me look better.
No harm, no foul. I had a blast.
Yes, he's trying to make me look better, and I appreciate it. That's a true teammate, but my bad.
And I just want to say, Catherine, hopefully the asking for questions wasn't the thorn part. It was the frustration that prompted asking questions, because hopefully we really want everyone to feel like, I feel like all the conversations I have with people, the biggest sort of shift for people is moving away from, okay, I've got this, let me try to figure it out, to like, okay, I'm just a little stuck here. Let me ask a question, because the chances are that the question you have, someone can point you in the right direction and save you hours of spinning your wheels. So ask for help, ask for help, ask for help.
It was very helpful. It was just scary at first.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but no one bites, promise. All right, we'll move to
benefit of the virtual world.
Yeah. Kate, did you have an update?
Not really. I was going to follow up with David at some point about if that like meeting about stuff, the 209A with the courts.
I think it'll still happen, but I haven't heard anything. So cool. I think slow is the thing. Hopefully enough time for you. Hi.
Yeah, I've got a few months. So just let me know.
Okie doke, great. Michelle?
Been mostly working on testing framework stuff. And I would say a thorn is DocAssembly's lack of attention to the DOM and providing any useful information there. So it's been a bit of a struggle. I'm proud that I set up a bunch of both issues and tests to, make the stuff more that I have more robust. And that I think I've got version 1 of the new sort variable structure set up. If we can pull in a few PRs and get that properly tested on GitHub, I will be more reassured, but it seems to be going all right. Rose, seeing a bunch of you guys during the week. That was so much fun. I don't know. I think those are most of my things. There might be something else. I can't remember.
Let us know if you do remember. And I think, is that Quentin on the phone?
It is, but give me a second. Train passing.
Okay. That was great timing on my part. I'll give you a second. David, did you have anything you wanted to share with the larger group?
Not much. As Kate was saying, there's a thing there. I'm still waiting to hear back from the court. Hopefully that they'll be able to give us stuff. Maybe Audrey will talk about some of the stuff with the appeals court that's moving forward, and that might turn into a bigger project that more people could work on. But yeah, I don't have much. Have stuff. I'm going to keep my discussion just to sort of a similar stuff. It's been nice to see some of the progress we've just been making on the other little things he's working on, and have a lot of paperwork I've been doing and emails and readings, which is not all that interesting.
Great. Quentin, how are you doing with the
I'll try it.
Okay.
I'll try again. So yeah, my big thing this week has been migration of the 209A. And I think the code all looks good there, but there's a big issue, which is that now that we've migrated the code over to the AL document class, we're running into the time limits that it takes to generate a document, which could be like a big optimization task to do. I'm trying to figure out the best, smallest scope we can do to get the 209A working, where you can generate and download the documents in an amount of time that doesn't cause the server to error out because it's too long. So been thinking about that problem and how to approach it. And I'm not quite sure of a solution yet, but getting closer, I think. Other than that, I'm just trying to also stay busy doing other smaller things to improve the back end mostly.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Oh, and one more thing I should mention is that this conditions tool that I mentioned on one of our other calls is supposed to be finished in about 3 weeks, and that's going pretty well. So touching some of the different pieces of some of the code comes from projects that people started in the past. Some of it is stuff that I'm writing, but I'm excited to see that taking shape too. Kind of an outside of this team project, but one that's moving along in a good direction. Definitely relevant to what we're doing.
Great. That will be exciting to see. So just on my end, as David mentioned, we met with the appeals court on Wednesday, and we got a big project to start on that we're going to be working for probably a long period of time to write appeals brief templater. And I'm giving it a go to start and kind of get that bare bones outline, but the goal is to then kind of break it apart into smaller pieces and hand off some of those pieces, which means that some of you could have a hand in it, depending on how we move this summer. And it's going to be a really exciting project where we've got a focus group that I'm going to get together with that work on appeals. So I'm going to start to set that up with them in the coming week. And And for everyone else, we're also going to start to think about what's next. I know that it feels like you just got your forms, but sometimes you end up moving incredibly fast and get a really great momentum once you kind of get grounded. So we're just going to start to line up lots of projects. And the last thing I want to mention is started to develop the grab bag Trello a little bit more. We really briefly talked about that on onboarding, and just want to call it out for anybody who is working with a team and you're kind of, bouncing your time to manage with your team's differences, and you were looking for more hours for yourself. The grab bag has some projects that people could start working on. So we've added more instructions. We're kind of developing those more. There's 2 that are pretty much ready for people to start working on. So if you're looking for things to do, don't forget that that's there. You can always just ask too if it's not clear on what's going on in there. So just a reminder there. But otherwise, I think that's it. My rose was, oh yeah, did you have a comment about that? My rose was just that really getting to know everyone a lot more this week. I spent a lot of time behind the scenes with you all, so thank you so much. And honestly, my thorn is kind of getting back into the coding. I took a break for a really long time, and my muscles are sore, and I did not realize how much I was gonna forget, and I kind of feel like a deer in the headlights a lot of the time, but I know that they're headlights and I'm not just stuck. So that's been my thorn, but I'm working through it. So yeah.
And I was just going to add something that I talked a little bit about on Friday, but I'm not sure everyone was there because it was during the last part, is if you are looking for a side gig, I have some grant money to help pay people to do issue spotting as part of an online game. That's the sort of thing you could sort of do in normal times. People would do it on their commute in and out of school because you can do it on your phone. But if you have a couple hours a day that you want to work on something and you are not receiving federal work study money and do not already have 2 jobs at the university, then we can talk more at $15 an hour for spot issues. So
we have a feeling
unfortunately, it has to be. We also have to be a Suffolk law student. That's the other thing I should have said.
To add to that, if you have 2 jobs through the university or federal work study, I'm sorry, those restrictions. I think
those are restrictions.
Those are the restrictions, but I think you can also do it for pro bono hours. Is that still true?
I don't know. We've never done that for pro bono hours.
Okay.
So some people are doing this for pro bono hours, and that's fine. But we've never done that for pro bono hours because we have the money. If you wanted to just volunteer, we of course won't turn you away. But you can spend your time here and get pro bono hours. So I don't want to cannibalize that time. No. But also you could tell your friends. So if you know anyone at the law school who's looking for a little something, feel free to tell them and have them in my contact if they can reach out to me.
And
that was all.
Do you want to tell them a little bit more about what it is?
Yeah, it's just
because it's kind of related to the project.
Yeah, since we have an AI issue spotter that we've built here at the lab, which will take lay people's description of their situation and make its best guess at what legal issues might be present. Although it's not really legal issues in the way that we train you to think about legal issues, which is to say, we don't care whether or not there's a remedy attached. We care sort of about the shape of the fact pattern. So in one jurisdiction, there might be a remedy, in another jurisdiction, it might not. But in both jurisdictions, we feel comfortable saying this is a landlord-tenant thing. If you're interested in sort of seeing what that looks like, let me just open up the. I'm just going to open something up and then share my screen. And what you're basically would be done is you would be paid to play this little game here, and I'm just going to authorize it here. Give it a second. And you know what? Actually, this browser has been giving me lots of weirdness. Let me do it in another browser. I think I have some security thing that's blocking stuff. Yeah. So you would log in, and then you can do, sometimes I'd ask you to do mixed mode, which will just give you some statement from some layperson saying, this is what's going on with me. And then you're prompted with, do you see a family law? So this is insurance company made an error that I'm going to pay for. So I'd have to read through this. And if I saw any PII or something, I'd flag it. But otherwise, there shouldn't really be any, because these were provided to us by the moderators at the forum, Our Legal Advice, the subreddit. And they have existing setting policy not to include PII in your postings. But if you did, you would flag it. Otherwise, you would then just answer a question about sort of issues, whether or not you saw them present. You can learn more about what those issues mean and mousing over. And you just sit there and you do that. Ask you a bunch of questions about what you do and don't see. And as you can imagine, it gets a little mind numbing, but it also are really interesting questions a lot of the time. And which is why I usually suggest people, do like an hour at a time or so. So it's perfect for your commute if you had a commute. But maybe a good little wind down, or while you're doing your coffee in the morning or something. So that's that. Do feel free to share with your friends, if they're Suffolk Law students. And yeah, $15 an hour to play a game. Put some of that issue spotting to use. And so I guess I did connect the dots. We use this to help train the issue spotter that we have. And don't worry, you don't have to be 100% correct. We actually use a sampling so that you say something is or isn't present as an actual issue in the training data after we're 95% confident that more than 50% of people using the site would use it. So it basically means you're sort of voting on a thing, but it's not a set number of votes that we're looking for. It depends upon the mix of labels that people have. All right, that's that.
It's really cool. Thanks. All right, does anybody have anything else that they wanted to add? Feeling good? Had a good week? All right, no questions? Okay, I think that's a wrap on our Friday stand-up. I've got nothing else. Great work this week, everyone. Should we switch to our casual Friday? David, you're muted.
Yep, I will stop